Hi friends, I'm Barath, Educator, GetitoIAS.com. Today in this session we'll deal about the post-independence. So we all know by the Act of Independence Act 1947, we got independence by 15th August. So we will learn in this session what happened after that. So there were many princely states at that time. So how that states were annexed, they were in a confusion to whether join India or Pakistan. So how these princely states were annexed? Mostly many princely states were annexed, but there were some confusions in some states. So how it was annexed, we will see. First is annexation of Junagadh. So where is Junagadh? Junagadh is nothing but a princely state located in Gujarat. So the Nawab of Junagadh at that time was Muhammad Mahabad Khanji III. He was the Nawab at that time. So the problem here is he was a Muslim. So he decided Junagadh should become part of Pakistan. But there were many Hindus who they were objecting to this idea. So it doesn't happen. Finally, Vallabhbhai Patel intervened and Junagadh was forcibly annexed. Regarding Vallabhbhai Patel is the main reason for this annexation of every states. Okay, he is the only one leader who is important for this annexation of states. So remember, Vallabhbhai Patel, with forcible annexation, Junagadh was annexed in the year 1947. So next, accession of Jammu and Kashmir. How Jammu and Kashmir was annexed? At that time, the ruler of Jammu and Kashmir is Maharaja Hari Singh. Okay, he decided not to join India or Pakistan. Okay, that was the decision. But what happened is, on October 20, 1947, the Azad Kashmir forces, the Pakistan forces, attacked Jammu. So he got very feared, and finally he came to negotiations with India, and the famous instrument of accession was signed by Jawaharlal Nehru and that Maharaja. By this deal, Maharaja Hari Singh agreed to accede to the dominion of India. Okay, that is the history of Jammu and Kashmir, and now we are having, and the problems are going on still now with the boundary disputes and all. So the year is important, 1947, instrument of accession by Nehru and Maharaja. Next, about accession of Hyderabad. Hyderabad Nizam was Osman Ali Khan at that time. So what's the problem here is he is a Muslim. So he recruited a large Muslim army called Razakars, and he was creating some trouble. Okay, but many Muslims were there in Hyderabad, but also Hindus were a majority there. So tussle happened between the Muslims and the Hindus. So finally, the Indian armed forces attacked Hyderabad by Operation Polo, and it was annexed by police action. So these all things were done by Vallabhbhai Patel. So don't forget, Vallabhbhai Patel is the main reason for annexation of these states. So next, I told about the general elections. General elections were held, and some facts regarding this general election. It was held between 25th October 1951 to Feb 1952, and Sukumar Sen was the first election commissioner. And you all know Jawaharlal Nehru was democratically elected as the first Prime Minister of India, and J.V. Mavalankar was the first Speaker of Lok Sabha. And a planning commission, we are having now transformed. This planning commission was transformed into Niti Aayog. The seed was sown there. Our first planning commission was formed in March 1950. So okay, these are some facts regarding the first general elections. These questions were asked in many government exams, so have a note of it. So next we'll deal with the linguistic reorganization of states. Okay, so there was a idea of organizing these states based on the language. Based on the language separation of states, they were talking about that thing that time. So many commissions were formed on this basis. So many commissions like Dhar, JVP, Fazal Ali commissions. So with Dhar Commission, they rejected these offerings. Offering is to reorganize the state based on the language. That was rejected by Dhar Commission in the year 1948. Next, a commission called JVP committee was formed in 1948. This committee also rejected the offering. Finally, 1953, Fazal Ali Commission only recognized this basis of dividing or reorganizing the state on basis of linguistic and cultural homogeneity was given by Fazal Ali Commission in the year 1953. That is with the how the linguistic reorganization of states. Next, the foreign policy shift. Our foreign policy was went through a major shift during that time in the year 1961. The famous non-alignment movement. So what is this non-alignment movement is? The principle behind this is in the domestic affairs of other countries and maintenance of one's own sovereignty, evolved into the concept of non-alignment, not interfering into any other's matter. So at that time there were two dominions like US and USSR. So either the countries should join US or USSR, but India came with the idea that we will not join both. We will not join US or USSR. We will form a separate thing called non-alignment, and many countries formed that. So the founder member of this non-alignment movement was India, Yugoslavia, and Egypt, and later on it was many countries was added, and a shift in our foreign policy was made. The term, actually the non-alignment term, was coined by V.K. Menon. A recent current affairs is the 17th non-summit is held in Venezuela, but now India is not that much affiliated to this non-alignment movement because they are departing from this idea of this non-alignment movement. Okay. Next, about the famous Indo-China War which happened after the independences. During 1962, this war happened. In 1954, a famous agreement called Panchsheel was signed between Jawaharlal Nehru and Zhou Enlai. So what is this Panchsheel? This Panchsheel is nothing but an agreement which consisting of many principles like mutual respect for each other's territory, and non-aggression, non-interference in their affairs, and equality should be maintained, and peaceful coexistence. Like this, 5 principles were there, and it was signed between Jawaharlal Nehru and Zhou Enlai of China. Okay, but later on a dispute happened in the Himalayan border territory, and that flamed into a tussle. Also, Tibetan uprising at that time, because India gave asylum to Dalai Lama. You know about Dalai Lama. We gave asylum to Dalai Lama. He is a Tibetan leader. So China didn't like this. Also, India placed its outposts along the borders, including the McMahon line. McMahon line is the line dividing India and China. Okay, India placed its outposts along the border. This also irritated China. So finally, they attacked India in the year 1962 on 20th October. Okay, the war was launched. Actually, Jawaharlal Nehru was very trusting China, because he is the one who signed the Panchsheel. So he was trusting China in a blind trust. Finally, when China attacked, Jawaharlal Nehru was so much disappointed of this attack, and he died by 1964. After 2 years of the China war, he died by May 1964. Next, about the Indo-Pak War, which happened after independence. First war happened by 1965. That is first war of Indo-Pak. The reason for that war is Pakistan's operation called Gibraltar. By this operation, the troops of Pakistan attacked Indians. So finally the war came down by signing of Tashkent Declaration. Tashkent Declaration is a peace agreement signed between India and Pakistan. By this Tashkent Declaration, the war of 1965 came to an end. Next war was launched in 1971. The main reason for this is liberation of Bangladesh. When dealing with Bengal, I told we are now having West Bengal. So East Bengal went to Pakistan. So peoples of East Bengal, they wanted a separate union called Bangladesh. So there was a tussle between the Pakistani and the East Bengal forces. So India intervened in behalf of the East Bengal, and we helped in creation of this Bangladesh. So that war, and India got a victory over this 1971 war. And next, the famous Kargil war happened in 1999. The Pakistan troops infiltrated the line of control. Line of control is the border between India and Pakistan. So when they infiltrated, the war started, and it is the famous Kargil war. Year is 1999. Next, we are going to see about the shift of an economic policy. That is a major shift when tracing from 1947. The major shift in economy happened in 1991 under Narasimha Rao's period. Manmohan Singh, the former Prime Minister, is the key reformer of this LPG. So what is this LPG? Is nothing but liberalization, privatization, globalization. Okay, means we are opening our economy. Till 1991, we are a closed economy. Means we will produce and we will use it. Now we are having FDI and all. No, at that time it was not there. By 1991 only, this concept was opened. So the foreign companies or the foreigners used to come and invest by FDI, and they will, now we are talking about making India. No, these all are the aftermath of this economic shift policy. So these are the things happening during these periods after independence. So I hope you like these videos. For more videos, subscribe and share these videos with your friends. Thank you.